Good day. Today, though, I want to just give a recap of what I think about where our economy is and how we can take steps to ensure some stability in our own individual lives. Because ultimately, we are only responsible for that one thing, our own individual life. That's the only thing that we can have any semblance of control over.
Good day. My name is David Fusco. And in this show, I'm going to talk about business, finance, and how to survive and thrive in this crazy environment that we're living in today. Welcome to my show.
So because of that, you have to take extreme ownership of that life, do the best that you can, so that you have the ability and capability of helping the people that you care about that are around you. That includes your family, your friends, and the wider community of people that you need to impact and help. So in that, really the first thing that comes to my mind in protecting yourself, your wealth, and well-being is you need a community. And the community of people that you surround yourself with is the most important thing that you could possibly have. By having a good community, you have other people that you can rely on. So when times get tough, and they're getting tough, and they're going to potentially get tougher, the way I perceive what's going on in the world today is I look back, and I'm a history buff. I look back at the history prior to the two most recent world wars, and there's a lot of similarities to them. It seems like Central Europe is in the throes of potentially putting us into the next one. Will it get there? I don't know. Not a darn thing I can individually do about it, except to take care of myself, my family, my friends, and the people around me in the community at large. So the number one thing that you need to do is have a good community of people, build up your own individual skills and value. The most important thing then to invest in is your own mind and your own mindset and your own abilities. That's one of the few things that no government, no person, no agency can take away from you. Your ability and your skills and your knowledge. So between your community and your individual skills that you can contribute, that's really wealth. So let's just talk a little bit about financing and finances and what you can do with your assets and resources. Of course, we know about banks, and banks have some type of insurance coverage called FDIC in the United States, and it covers your accounts up to a certain dollar limit. Keep in mind that there is no payout plan for that. I'm saying a certain dollar limit right now is $250,000, but it can vary, and that's a by decree change. I mean, it was at long time $100,000. It was bumped up to $250,000. Who knows what it's going to be tomorrow, or it could be eliminated for that matter. Who knows? The rules in banking have changed quite a bit. Under new laws, you are just an unsecured creditor to the bank. So if the bank fails, you're just an unsecured creditor. It means you're at the bottom of the pecking list in the case of a bankruptcy, other than FDIC insurance coverage, which they have 5 years to get you that money back. So who knows how and when you'll get it. Will it be in time? People invest in stocks and bonds. Generally, they hold them with brokerage firms. Whenever you have stocks and bonds in a brokerage firm, you're just a claimant on those individual stocks and bonds. And those stocks and bonds are not even held by the brokerage firm, but they're held by a clearinghouse. So who knows who's got true ultimate ownership? I remember that old expression, possession is 9/10 of the law, and who's got the possession? If you're going to own stocks, in my opinion, the best way to own them is in your direct name. We have the actual old-fashioned paper certificates. Years ago, you can get them for a nominal fee from your brokerage firm. The last I checked several years ago, it was $500 to get a paper certificate from the brokerage firm, at least the one I dealt with. And I don't even know if you can do it today. I haven't bothered asking. I just limit my exposure to stocks or just accept the risk that's inherent in them. You can have an insurance contract. An insurance contract is a contract between you and an insurer. And that could be in the form of an annuity. That could be in the form of a life insurance contract. There are different types of those contracts. There's whole life, term life, etc. And they all mean different things. And there's protection through nonprofit state associations. Commodities, you can own commodities and futures. Commodities are exactly, on a futures contract, which means you have a claim against a future price on an item. Could be pork bellies, could be gold, could be silver, could be wheat, could be anything. If that commodities biz firm fails, there is some protection there too. But again, the protection is only as good as the company providing the protection. We've kind of heard, if you pay attention to the news, that, for example, in the banking system, the FDIC is extremely underfunded, meaning if there was a multiple bank collapse, there's not enough juice to fill up the cups anymore. So that's one type of asset class, in my opinion. The next type of asset class, besides your own personal skills and abilities in your community and these financial systems, is physical assets. Physical assets, well, now 9/10 of the law is coming towards your side. Real estate is one of those. One of the difficulties with real estate, though, is even if you have zero debt on the property, okay, in general, people take out mortgages when they buy property. And of course, the bank has senior claim on that asset. But real estate, the difficulty there is of course, you've got to maintain it. There's real estate taxes, and there's no avoiding those. And again, you're relying on a governmental agency to be charging you an appropriate amount of tax, and potentially could become unaffordable. My friend who's in Sarasota, they got hit with the second major storm in the last couple of years, and the prices have gone from the first storm to from the first storm. He lost half his value just because of the people's less demand for the properties there and the cost of insurance and real estate taxes. And now they got just hit with the second storm not too long ago, and who knows what that's going to do to property values there. So property values up and down. If it's a place that you live and you reside in, well, you have to live and reside somewhere. And so we got to live inside of a house unless we're going to live on the street. And I don't think we want to do that. We're not going to go back to the caveman days, I hope. But who knows? Another type of thing is, well, you could actually have physical paper cash on hand. And you should definitely have some amount, and preferably in small denominations, in my opinion, singles, fives, tens, 20s, whatever. Why? I remember in Staten Island, New York, when Storm Sandy happened, people were getting gasoline from the gas stations when they had the ability to, pump the gas. And I was watching how some of the less nice gas station people were taking $100 bills for $50 or $60 worth of gasoline and going, oh, we have no change. So it's nice to have smaller denominations on hand. Also, if you start whipping out a wad of $100 bills, the eyeballs might go on you, and, well, now you have another kind of security problem. Physical gold and silver and other precious metals, as well as other things like artwork. I like gold, physical gold and silver, because it's real. It's historic money for thousands of years, and it's recognizable and convertible into any local currency or directly exchangeable anywhere in the world. And that's a pretty powerful thing. Nice thing about gold and silver is, versus paper money, if it's in your house, the house burns to the ground, paper money is gone. The gold and silver is not so pretty, but it's nice lumps of metal that's melted together, and it still has a nice value. There are other physical assets such as artwork and stuff like that. But unlike gold and silver, where there's you can go on a computer and immediately see the value and the pricing of that, you really can't do that so well with paintings. I've seen some other interesting things pop up now where you can buy like little segments of a painting. So I have a client who put about $50,000 or so into owning a percentage of different artwork. Some of these things, that's kind of, in my opinion, a leverage kind of thing where so it creates more demand and it should drive the price up. Will you know how to get out? Will you get out in time? I don't know. One of the things, and this is one of the topics I really wanted to mention, is which has now been around for several years and is becoming more and more common, is cryptocurrencies. And what I had to do is I'm an accountant, and I know about them to some extent, and I've invested in them to some extent. And made money in it, lost money in it. And that's how you learn. When you get beat up a little bit, you learn more and more. And so more recently, in order for me to educate myself, I signed up for a decentralized finance and cryptocurrency course. It's given by Brian Rose under the London Real Cryptocurrency and DeFi Academy. I'm about halfway through it. It's intensive, and the amount of information I did not know, and I just looked at some of the titles of the future chapters that I have to learn about. It's like, phew. But you know what? Like it or not, want it or not, the systems are going in that direction, and there's a lot of responsibility on your part when you get involved in cryptocurrencies. You click the wrong button, boop, there goes whatever that asset is, and it's lost to the ethers of the world. There are ways to protect yourself in it. I'm not today here to talk about the different methodologies and private keys and public keys. And the bottom line, though, is when you have an asset on a centralized exchange versus a decentralized exchange, that there are two main types of exchanges, or you can actually have them in your own, what they call wallets. For those who know about it, they know these terms. For those that don't, these are new terms. And, at some other point, I'll get into trying to talk about the different terminology once I've properly educated myself, so that I've got the 1% rule going for me. And the 1% rule is you got to just know 1% more than the next guy, and you're a genius. Well, I'm not going to say anything that I can't truly understand. I have a financial, and I feel a personal responsibility to speak when I have knowledge about something when it's in depth. Can't recommend any particular crypto. You could watch the YouTube channels or whatnot. But in addition to the cryptocurrency course I'm taking with the London Academy, there I'm sure you can go on YouTube just to get yourself familiarized. But you do get what you pay for. And what I also like about the class that I'm taking is that it's all done through the internet. There's people all over the world. And I like the interaction. And if you go back to what I first talked about, it's community. And community is the most important asset you can have. Actually, the most important asset is your own thinking process and capabilities. And right behind that is the community of people that you surround yourself with. And from my experience so far in the program I'm taking, is the people are outstanding people. And also what I found is interesting is, most of them are on the older side of the realm, I guess. I thought I'd find 20-year-olds in it, but it's not. It's 40s, 50s, 60s, like myself, and 70-year-old people in it. So it's becoming more and more common, and definitely something that you should try to add to your world of knowledge and maybe invest in yourself. Again, you've got the responsibility. Also, I've noticed over time that people hand off the responsibility to brokerage firms, and they just sign papers and they just free trade for the client. Client has no clue what they have. They have no clue what's happening. I've seen instances when doing tax returns where what's called churning, where, the broker has made more in commissions just by buying and selling than the client actually makes. So it's better to be more responsible, take your own responsibility, take control of your finance, take control of your life. And I guess the last thing I'm going to say about it is that, people worry and stress over everything. But listen, life is just a journey. There's one thing that's for sure. If you're born, one day you're not going to be here and you're going to pass on. And, people, joke and say death and taxes. Well, taxes is not a guarantee. You could live in poverty and then there's no taxes, or you could just be a person willing to go to prison. So, death is a guarantee, and so live your life with honesty, live your life with courage too. Thank you.